welcome to another Daily Digest video. I'm Merriam. Today I'm playing a little bit of Modern in preparation for the SCG Tour stop in somewhere this weekend. I'm not exactly sure. I should probably know that, but it's definitely Modern, so I'm playing some Modern. And I got a sweet one, because I'm playing Fairy Miscreant, a card you might not expect. This is a version of Blue-Red Delver that is more creature heavy and relies on Ninja of the Deep Hours. They play Miscreant, draw cards off of it, bounce it with Ninja, replay it, draw more cards, have a bunch of sweet spells, and get to really overpower your opponent with just the total quantity of spells that you draw. So your spells are a little underpowered, but they're all very mana efficient. And we're going to see how it works. This is a fine 7. We got turn 1 Miscreant, turn 2 second Miscreant, draw a card, and bolt if we want to, maybe hold up Remand. We'll see what our opponent does. Definitely going to keep. Opponent is on the play. So we might have to bolt on turn 1. But Darkslick Shores. Does this mean fairies? That would be my guess. Which is not a good sign. This deck seems very, very bad against Bitter Blossom. Miscreant, Snapcaster Mage, Spellstarter Sprite, all 1 toughness creatures. All just trade with a fairy token. Yeah. I'm going to hope it's not fairies, and it's like some sort of Tezzeret deck, maybe. We'll give them some information by playing the Canal on turn 1, but that's okay. Them taking Snapcaster, I mean, that could say that they don't want us to getting some card advantage, or it could just say that the other cards in our hand they're not very worried about. They have Blossom here on the play beneath our Remand. That's rough. Okay, this turn I'm a huge fan of. I guess they can't be a Grixis Shadow deck if they're playing Darkslick Shores, but they are some sort of Grixis deck, maybe just Grixis Delver. If they're not fairies, I'm very happy. They could still have Bitter Blossom on the sideboard, but split on the scry, so their top card is a good one. And now I get the choice of whether or not I want to hold up Remand or play a Miscreant. I kind of like the idea of playing Miscreant just because I have multiple 1-mana pieces of interaction in case they do something. Remand is pretty good though, and it's only 1 point I'm missing out on. But it's more the cantrip I'm missing out on, so I'll have fewer options on my next turn. Is what I'm concerned about. I'm not entirely sure which one to do, but usually when I'm in doubt, I just want to use my mana rather than not use it. So I'm just going to Miscreant. Whatever they do, I should be able to deal with it. Not a fan of drawing another land. Sure. I would have likely been forced to Remand to that Inquisition, which is not a good line. But this could all, if they don't take Snag and play a Tassiger or a Gurmag Angler, that could be quite bad. They took Bolt. Interesting. So, okay, they are indeed a Delver deck. And they've taken my answer to Delver. Ugh, too many lands. I was a little surprised at 20 lands in this deck. The count seemed high, but it's also just low on cantrips, so it made sense in that regard. So they don't know about these two, so I might as well just play the Tarn. I guess I can just pass and see what they do. Okay, they found a Lightning Bolt. Not great. They're probably attacking with this then. Am I snagging it? Not really a big fan of snagging Insectile Aberration. Ugh. But I'm no longer winning this race. I think I'm going to hold on to this snag. It's so much better used on one of the Delve creatures And I can find a Snapcaster or another Bolt or something to help deal with it. Now we get to go to Steam Vents. Not the best. Kind of regretting playing the Miscreant on turn 2. I think remanding the Inquisition would have been quite nice. Okay, so they bolt the Miscreant, not bad, but we're sort of losing this game on card advantage because we've drawn too many lands. I think at this point I'm going to end up being forced to start aggressively using these spells. I'm going to end step Snag, just so they don't play a Delve creature. Although I've remained for Delve creatures, so. Ugh, come on, deck. Too many lands. Okay, well, let's get this Strand into play. We're probably just going to cycle these remands at this point. At least one of them. The other might be important in winning a counter war. But I'm just too far behind, and I haven't drawn anything, basically, since my opening hand. Ugh. Okay, now they're probably have like just a remand for this. Mana leak, sure, yeah. I guess I could have just let them resolve the Delver, but I don't know. I needed to draw something. Ninja is not a bad draw, although Tasker can contain it. Ninjutsu. Hopefully we can find a Snapcaster. Yeah, I think I'd like to draw a card. Disrupting Shoal. Well, that can counter a Delver, which is nice. I guess I'll play the Miscreant. So at least we get some value off of snagging that Delver. But now we're facing down this Tasigur. But the fact that I'm potentially drawing 2 cards a turn if they attack with Tasigur. Well, awkward. Sure. Maybe I shouldn't have played Miscreant. Could have been able to counter that. Okay then. So they're holding up a 2-mana spell, like another Mana Leak maybe? But ugh. Not good. Not good at all. I am just going to attack for 1. Okay, they are remanding just to get a token and cycle. That is fine. Yeah. No, I don't think I can attack for 1 now because of this token. I need to be able to trade with Pyromancer and use the Ninja to block here. Sure, take 4. If you're wondering why I haven't cracked this fetch that's been in play for a while, it was so that I could take that attack and stay at 4 potentially. I'm just going to counter this. These fetches also now help me scry with Delver. And yeah. Pyromancer is probably going to be a little too much. Terminate. Where is this going? To my Delver. Yeah, that makes sense. And I have drawn an 8th land. I had it as one too many. Probably more than one too many. Okay, so what do I want in this matchup? I think Static Caster and Electrolyze are good. Fork Bolt seems good. Snag is like half good. I think Spell Snare is good. I think Remand is pretty poor. I want mainly things that affect the battlefield. This Dispel has to be good. Maybe I want this Snag. So these are the cards I might want. What other cards are poor? I think Ninja is weak. It just dies to so many removal spells. And gets blanked on the ground pretty easily. Still, it's a big part of my deck, so I don't want to go ham on cutting them. Snag is basically only good against the Delve creatures, but it's very important against them. Especially with cutting Remand, which is the other card that is good against them. So I do cut. I need to cut 2 cards out of this. Can I get away with cutting a land? I guess if I'm gonna take the approach of this being a Delver Mirror, maybe Disrupting Shoal isn't good. I'm not gonna get ahead on tempo, so the card advantage is pretty poor. Maybe I'm just supposed to trim some shoals. That makes sense to me. Okay, I will play. 1 land, no cantrips. And we have a bunch of mana-intensive cards. This is a mulligan. This hand is nice. We have Terminal Miscreant, then we get to Ninja, and then see what else is there with the Serum Visions. Definitely keeping this. Don't think I want a second Ninja. Might get punished for that. Fairy Miscreant. Modern All-Star. No thoughtsies, please. Inquisition is fine. Visions is gone. Basic Swamp might also make their mana awkward. Fewer fetches means I'm under less pressure from them casting Tassiger or Angler. It'll be a while for those. That's also nice. Well, hopefully we get to Spellstorm or something later, but we're definitely going to take the time to Ninja here. Got our card. Ninjutsu. Perfect. Yes, I would. 3rd land, not bad. Hopefully we don't draw too many of those. And hopefully our Ninja doesn't get bolted. Or terminated, I guess. Okay, no red mana. And no fetch, so Fatal Push doesn't kill it. So I feel pretty good about Ninja getting to connect again. That'll be very important given that we mulliganed. And they split on the Scry. No, not even a second discard spell. Love it. Love it a lot. Good chance they kept a red source on top. I should have attacked first before playing that land. Getting ahead of myself. If I draw something I want to cast, then I potentially have to crack this fetch at a time I don't want to. It's an incredibly small consideration, but it's just a general rule that you want to do all of your things that don't require any decision before you do your things that require a decision. Whereas which land to play is, while small, still a decision. Whereas attacking with Ninja was going to be automatic and gives me more information. But we have now drawn 2 more lands in a row, which is not good. But we were pretty far ahead on tempo. We have a Spell Snare, hopefully, for this play. And then Cryptic up later. Yeah, as I suspected, they left a red source on top with that Visions. Please play Pyromancer. Oh my god, yes. Oh. was hoping for Pyromancer and not just tap 3 mana for Tasigur. And I got exactly what I wanted. It's like Christmas. Now we get to draw another card. Yeah. Oh, they had the Fatal Push. Well, nothing we could have done about that. So we don't get to draw another card. Now I'm not in great shape. They have 4 cards in hand. I have 3, but they're pretty bad outside of this Cryptic. Dispel not bad. And we really don't have a lot of pressure. I would like a Spellstar Spray. That would have been nice. Wow. They passed the turn there? If I just untap, then their Fatal Push is no longer on. I was really surprised that they would pass there. I mean, assuming that I'm going to fetch. The risk for them is pretty high. And if I have a Dispel, I'm not fetching. So it's not like they're going to ever get me if I have it. The only... I guess their plan is to target Inquisition here. I doubt that's the Fatal Push. I'm a little surprised they wouldn't try to target Visions. But I think this Snapcaster is actually worth countering. Lets me keep my Dispel. And gets me further into my deck, so maybe I can apply some more pressure. Jesus. So, is this a Fatal Push? Oh. Well, yeah, that's pretty good. I guess if I'd let the Snapcaster resolve, they couldn't have Anglered. I didn't even think about that. Getting a little punished for some of these plays. Now I really need this Delver to flip very quickly. Yeah, maybe that was... letting that Snapcaster resolve, take my Dispel, then they know about the Cryptic. I'm never going to get the Angler then, but maybe keeping it off the battlefield is enough. I could Dispel that, but I'd rather save it to protect this Delver if we're going to end up racing. This Delver also turns these fetch lands into effective scries on the upkeep trigger, so that is nice. So I really need to find some gas. Bottom and top. Okay, so they have a good card on top. Good chance it's a removal spell, or maybe even another black creature, a delve creature to increase their clock. So yes, I want to reveal this, but I don't think I want to draw it because it doesn't do much. I guess well, it brings them to 9, and then my attacks are for 4 and 4. So I could conceivably burn them out. We're definitely revealing it. So and I have enough mana that, yeah, I think I actually should draw this just because it's a cantrip. Okay, good thing we saved this Dispel. Little surprised they would let me go to my turn with a fetch land, but... And I guess we mush for 4. And play another fetch. So they know the card in my hand. I think this could get countered if I don't cast it now, but I'm a little worried about them playing a Delver. But if I draw something good, then I might want to cast it. If I draw another Miscreant or another Delver, so I should probably just play it now. I should have done that before combat in case I drew Ninja. So that's another thing I should have figured out, but Miscreant is a very good draw, so now we have lethal on the battlefield. A Bolt will kill them through a removal spell on this Delver. Yeah, I guess it's a little awkward cracking this last fetch because it turns the Angler into a 2-turn clock. But my Serum Visions gets a lot worse by holding it. I would effectively only get to see 2 cards next turn, whereas if I cast it now, I get to see 4 cards. I think a difference of 2 is worth it, because the turn is only worth 1 card. So, a little unfortunate, but I think it's worth it. Ooh, I don't like the island. I like this Cryptic a lot, because I could potentially bounce here. How much? The question is how much I like Spell Stutter. If they have a removal spell in Delver, then Spell Stutter represents lethal the next turn, so I think it's important to have it actually. So I'm gonna go top and pass the turn. And hopefully that's enough. Take 5. The 7th land, importantly, does let me Cryptic through a Mana Leak, but not a Remand. Okay, they do have the removal spell. Because I'm going to be forced to bounce this anyway, I should do it now. And hopefully their last card isn't Remand. So return a permanent and draw a card. Yes, that worked. Great. And now we have lethal damage. This could also potentially counter a spell, like a Delver of Secrets or something they cast. Serum Visions. Yeah, I'm definitely just countering the first thing I see. Their last card in hand this last turn wasn't relevant to what I did, and they would have cast Thought Scour if they had it, so I'm assuming Thought Scour was their draw off the top. Could be that their last card is Mana Leak, but if that's the case, then the Scour is going to resolve anyway. And I definitely want to threaten lethal here. Do they have a bolt? Wow, they do have a 3rd bolt. Okay, now we're in a little bit of trouble, but one good draw will get us there. That 1 point is also... come on, land 8 again! Oh man. Just almost any... I don't have a lot of counters left in my deck. Yeah, like I already drew this... I guess I have another Spell Snare. Almost any non-land in my deck was good there. So this will be frustrating if I now end up 1 point short. I probably should have played and cracked that fetch. 4 doesn't matter here, but I thin my deck by some small margin when I need to draw non-land. Okay. Wow. Wow. I mean, I guess I still have one more chump block, but this is a little ridiculous. I thought I had this game on lock. To draw 2 straight lands in that spot is really rough. Have them have the bolt. I guess, were they holding it for some reason? Now I need to draw something specific. And we're going to play like a longer game, so the point might matter. I'm just not going to crack it. Oh, that chump blocks as well, but they haven't played any of their draws, so I assume they have some... No, I guess if they had a removal spell, they would have cast it last turn, so... Yeah, I mean, this gets to keep chump blocking. I need to draw like a Vapor Snag, or Cryptic Command, or Snapcaster is the big one. But at this point, I'm just losing ground every turn, so I need to draw something soon. Yeah, I know they have a Delver. Lightning Bolt would also be great. Any burn spell just ends the game. So I just have, I guess, even if that Delver flips, this just continues to. Colligan's Command, that'll do it. That will do it. Oh man, they had so many live draws. Frustrating one for sure. Yep. Oof, so close on that one. But yeah, I noted that the line count might be a little high. I could see trimming one or two and maybe getting some Thought Scours into the deck as an additional cantrip, help your spell count for Delver Secrets. They help out Snapcaster Mage as well. So just flooded there in both games, and maybe made a mistake by remanding too early in game one, and maybe made a mistake by crypticking the Snapcaster Mage. But I'm fine with both those plays. We just got pretty punished. Um, and even I guess as it ended up happening, had I saved the Serum Visions, I would have just had my cards in the order I left them in. I didn't change any of those orders. I wouldn't have known what was coming, but it would have just played out per normal, and I would have been able to race at one life potentially. Uh, but no, I think the play's fine, and just key turns didn't hit lands, hair going crazy. Uh, Either way, hope you enjoyed it. Close game, fun to watch, and you can come back and see me on whatever day is next after this one. Bye.